Man, it sure is hot out here.
I know, but this round of crops is going to bring in so much money. We need to finish.
I know. We only have 2 more acres. Then we'll be done by tomorrow night. We could pack it up and ship it out to Germany.
Yes, sir. They're buying our everything these days. Our corn, our peppers, our everything. Thank you, Germany. Sure had a long day of work out there.
Tell me about it. It is Wednesday, and on today's macro news, there is more breaking news on the recent economic collapse in Germany. 3 of the biggest corn farmers are looking to sell their land in the midst of this crisis.
Absolutely. In wake of Germany's economic collapse, thousands of families are attempting to flee the country as food producers have stopped growing crops, and the government steps in weeks before making any positive impact.
Correct, Mike, and you really hate to see it. The German government has stepped in and started buying crops in mass from the US. However, it'll take weeks before the people of Germany will feel the effect of this action. This has greatly shifted the balance of payments between Germany and America, and we've seen nearly a 20% revenue increase in the American agricultural industry just last quarter.
And now for your news segment about the weather. As you can see, there's a nice storm coming in here from the south, which all of that rain is going to help for the agriculture in the American industry. Oh, I'm just receiving word I'm not supposed to be talking about the weather, so we'll cut back to the newsroom now. While the balance of payments looks at the overall transaction history between individuals, let's zoom in on the American economy and the tremendous impact this event has had on our farmers. The current account is a measurement of goods and services and transfer payments. All of these crops bought by the German government would be counted in here, which means that there's a large flux of money into the US current account.
And Mike, if the scenario continues to move by the books, we should see a negative number in the US financial account, which is a measurement of the sale or purchase of assets. Essentially, soon enough, money will start to flow from the US into German assets. What's going on with financial account stuff? Does this mean we should move our money over to Germany?
Well, I've been trying to break into the potato industry. Tons of margin over there. Maybe this is our opportunity. After we pay off this new John Deere tractor, we can use our winnings from this past harvest, go buy a little plot of land out there, hire a couple of hands to do the work, and when that German economy gets back to good, we'll be swimming in money.
I love to see it. I actually got some family around this part, so I'll give them a shout, see what's on flash sale.
10 years later.
Good morning, folks. Macro Crop Limited rings the bell this morning on Wall Street, going public with a $2.7 billion market cap.
Mike, this company has quite the backstory. Starting out as a mom and pop pepper farm in South Florida. They capitalized on that German recession about 10 years ago and have never looked back. They now run one of the largest international agricultural organizations, harvesting everything from Japanese Kobe beef to those same Delray bell peppers.
Zach, you love to see it, don't you?
You do.
A new chapter on Wall Street for our South Florida folks who understood the workings of international trade and finance and were able to capitalize on a tremendous opportunity. Back to you in the studio. Welcome to the post-production studio.
Now that we've followed our farmer's adventure, let's review what we've learned.
These farmers were dealing with issues related to international trade and finance. So let's help by reviewing some of the key terms related to this topic.
First and foremost, the balance of payment accounts is the summary of a country's transactions with other countries. It shows how well a country is performing relative to the rest of the world. In this example, we saw the balance of payments for the United States changing as the farmers sold more crops to Germany. The balance of payments consists of two sections, the financial account and the current account.
The current account is a country's balance of payments on goods and services, plus net international transfer payments and factor income. Within the current account, there are two parts. Part one is the balance of payment on goods and services, which is just the difference between the value of a country's exports and the value of its imports during a given period. Specifically, it was this part of the current account that increased when the farmers in our example began selling their crops more to Germany. Part two is the trade balance, which is the difference between the value of a country's exports and the value of its imports during a given period. This is important to measure when considering a country's surplus and deficit in their balance of payments.
A balance of payments deficit means that the country is importing more than it's exporting, a venture funded by borrowing from other countries because it fuels short-term economic growth.
Conversely, a balance of payments surplus means that the country is exporting more than it's importing. This also fuels short-term economic growth, but this time it's funded by domestic production.
The second part of the balance of payments is the financial account, or the difference between a country's sales of assets to foreigners and its purchase of assets from foreigners during a given period. In the example with the farmers, this was represented by the land that was purchased in Germany. It's not an asset that could leave Germany, which is why it falls under the financial account.
Absolutely, Zach. It's also important to understand the relationship between the current account and the financial account. The current account plus the financial account is zero. In other words, the current account equals the negative financial account. This is why the payments must always be balanced.
Exactly, Mike. Thanks for the nice wraparound, and thank you all for reviewing with us. We wish you and our farmers the best of luck. Cut.